Hi there, everybody. Kevin Schulteis here, and I am going to give today a review on Booker T. Washington, this fellow here. Um, and you can look him up. There we go on Google, and you can see what he's all about. And I'm actually going to go through the audiobook version. This is a book written in 1901, I believe, Up from Slavery. You can actually type that in. Let's just see here. Audiobook. Let's just see here. Up from Slavery. There's details there. Uh, yes, 1901 Autobiography, written by the man himself, which is awesome. And yeah, amazing book. Simply amazing. And I think every man, woman, and child should actually go through the book. It covers his life from just coming out of the slavery movement when he was, yeah, I think he was young. I think he was like 9 or 10 or maybe 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. Younger boy, yeah, maybe that's what it was. I think he was mid-teenager or something like that, or just becoming a teen. And the slavery movement um, was abolished in the States, and he was already working really hard as at 9 years old, he was already in salt mines working his butt off. Like, really, just think about that, right? 9-year-old kid, and he really desired to learn, so he figured ways out, and his story is amazing. He figured out ways to um, both work and learn as a student because he knew he was hungry for knowledge even then. Um, and from my understanding, it was knowledge for slaves was hard to come by because it was a frowned upon and illegal and things like that to train up your slaves. Um, and whatnot. So that was quite amazing. He had a fighting spirit even back then. And then the whole story progresses where the slavery movement ended. Then he catches wind or kind of rumor that there's a school, uh, a ways away that trains, is becoming famous for training colored people to bring them up to speed and to make them functional people in society, and was doing that. So he caught wind of that. He saved everything. People donated to the cause as much as they could, and they ended up sending him off. And then his trip, even there, he ran out of money even halfway there, or something like that, and he just had to work his way to eventually get to the school. And then he gets to the school with zero money, zero place to stay, stuff like that. And he had kind of one opportunity for an interview, as it were. It was kind of like a working interview, and he worked his butt off, showed his fighting spirit to the teachers. He was allowed to stay, and the schooling system was really unique there in the fact that even if you could pay your way, my understanding is they wanted to both teach practical functional skills and trade skills of what was common and money making at the time, and the other side of it is to train you on education, read, writing, education skills and stuff like that, and then also social skills. uh, and they even focus on bathing and brushing of the teeth and how to take care of your body, and yeah, and how to just maintain yourself. So the school really took care of you in the whole scope of things, which um, everybody needs. Could probably use that even nowadays. I think we're losing some of our social graces. But anyways, so yeah, that was quite neat. And that being said, is he learned and he was excelling, and he was tons of hardships, and there's a bunch of chapters of him in the school system there, and it was super hard, and it was amazing. So that being said, then you fast forward a little bit, so he kind of graduates from this school, and he goes back home, and he instantly kind of starts um, if I'm trying to remember this, he kind of starts teaching it back home or something, and it starts taking off, and then um, Wynn got word of this, and he started going back to school to give talks and kind of be like almost like an alumni speaker and things like that. And he started to do really well there and was building up, and they're trying to raise funds to just change their communities back home. And here's this fellow doing this, and then he gets an assignment to go to a completely different state where they're really needing a lot of help. People of all colors and races and everything are needing help, and so he accepts that challenge, and they had nothing. It was like they had nothing, you know. So he gets makes a deal to get some land, um, and he sends people out, and including himself, to raise funds and ask for money. And he gets a small plot of land, and with a crappy building, and they work with that, and they build and build and build, and they are just investing into the students, and everybody's welcome. And he builds the model the same way that the other school had built it, both on work ethic, practicality skills, and they started making bricks and other things that they could sell. The whole community didn't even know really about farming and growing your own food and things like that. So, they started building. The students would learn skills that they could sell and make money, and that would help pay for board and things like that and help fund the school a little bit. And then they would also learn how to make food and do a whole bunch of things and grow things, and they would learn the latest techniques. And then he started traveling to the north and everything, and he would bring back not only more donations and stuff like that for the cause, but more new technologies and new strategies. And he would always just constantly make this school a very practical school. And yeah, started changing entire, not just the community, but the entire state. And then other states were all hearing about it, and up north was hearing about it, and then other countries and other places in the world were hearing about it. And it just an amazing story of overcoming and an amazing schooling system to be able to raise people of all nations and all colors and races and things like that, raise them up and take people's victim mentality away from them. Say you can do it, and you're better. You're better than this, and you can do something amazing. Um, And I think we could use a lot of that today. So, anyways, amazing book, a must read. I remember in the back of my head always hearing about Booker T. Washington and stuff like that. And I remember hearing about it. One of the very first, I started at age 27, and I got into self help and leadership. I got into a leadership business group of masterminds and people, peer groups that we're all trying to learn together. And that was the very first CD I'd ever listened to was from Charlie Tremendous Jones, and he spoke highly of this man and of this book, and everybody should listen and be inspired from. And boy, did it ever. Like as I'm listening to the book, going through the chapters, and again, I listen to the free version. You can get it's public domain, so you can download it on your Kindle or iPhone, smartphones and stuff like that. It's free. I listen to the audio version. Because I believe there's a lot of things I'm busy with, so I believe in net learning, no extra time, and that's that. So, anyways, you're going to love it. Absolutely. I'm going to put this on my list of things to go through. Every few years, I'm going to revisit this. I've already recommended this book to a bunch of other teachers, other missionaries, three different sets of missionaries, and saying, no, this is like an amazing way of doing schooling, practicality, living skills, leadership, public public skills, in addition to general learning and stuff. You can't be just all book knowledge, and sure, Greek and Latin, but you don't know any. other good skills or something like that, and it's not going to be too practical with serving your community right where you're at. So, anyways, highly recommend Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington. Let's just see here, Booker T. Washington, and that's, I guess, maybe the book there. Maybe there you go, and go from there. But that's Dover Thrift version. But I listened to the librivox version, which you can watch right there. So that's from librivox, which is a whole bunch of random people volunteering, reading the different chapters, and you get to hear. I liked some of the quality was better than others. Um, but the point is, it was free. It was audio. I listened to it over a few day period, and it was mind blowing. So highly recommended, and we'll go from there. So enjoy Up From Slavery.